If a licensed professional is telling you that there are things that need to be taken care of for your child, why is that something you're going to dismiss as if the professional has no idea what they're talking about, especially if you didn't even finish college yourself? What's up, everybody? What's on the menu? Back with another video, and this time we're here to talk about how Chrisean Rock was absolutely schooled by Charlie, also known as penguinz0. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, don't forget to like the video if you do, don't if you don't, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more social media related news like this. And without further ado, let's get started. I came across this video on my YouTube feed about 2 to 3 hours ago and decided to watch the whole thing. I mean, just seeing Chrisean Rock as the thumbnail and the title being Horrible Mother, I already couldn't deny that this was going to be very, very true. Charlie's main video covers how she's been a terrible mother from before the child was even born up until this point in time, how she refuses to acknowledge that the child may have developmental issues and is not really developing at the right rate for someone his age, as he is going to be 3 very soon. If none of you guys are aware, Chrisean Rock is a famous social media personality who is well known for being the girlfriend, or I guess now ex-girlfriend, of rapper Blueface, and they have a kid together. She ended up getting her start on social media by being one of the contestants on one of Blueface's reality TV shows, one of his dating reality TV shows. She stuck out most from the crowd because she tended to be the most rambunctious of the bunch, and she also stuck out a little bit because she ended up missing a tooth in one of her scuffles on the TV show. The love then extended outside of the reality TV show, and the two began dating for quite some time, and they were all over social media headlines because they were actually infamous for beating each other up in public, which is not a good start to a relationship, if I'm going to be honest. Many people online believe their relationship was the epitome of toxicity because before Chrisean Rock was a social media personality and the girlfriend of Blueface, she was actually a track star and had a very promising athletic career in front of her. Unfortunately, her new lifestyle took over, and the rest is history. During her time with Blueface as her boyfriend, she's gotten in drunken scuffles with him outside. She's gotten in drunken scuffles with other women. She hit him over the head with a Henny bottle one time. She got kicked off a podcast for being too belligerent. She got Blueface's name tattooed on her body as well as his face tattooed on her face. She moved into his home while he was away, in jail that is, and a bunch of other shenanigans I do not have the knowledge of or remember, but I'm sure you could look it up if you look up Chrisean Rock. Despite all her antics, they both ended up having a baby together. Prior to the birth or even the conception of the child, many people predicted that the baby would not be raised under healthy circumstances, and unfortunately, they were right. For instances, the baby's first moments on the planet Earth were live streamed for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people on Instagram. But even prior to that, there are many instances of her smoking and drinking while pregnant and talking about how she may potentially abort the baby. On top of that, she refuses to acknowledge that any developmental issues may even be present in her child and says that the doctors do not know what she's talking about and that the child will develop at his own pace. I'm not going to beat a dead horse too much, as you can watch Charlie's whole video as he explains why Chrisean Rock is a terrible mother to her child before he was born and even to this day as he is still trying to navigate the world with her as his mother, but I just want to drop in my 2 cents. Chrisean Rock is now a 26-year-old woman. She just turned 26 on the 14th. So that being said, she has a fully functioning brain. You know, that frontal lobe is fully developed and she should know left from right, up from down. People have been telling her since the baby was born that she has been very neglectful to the child's health and how she is treating the child. There was an instance in Walmart during the first few months of the baby's life when it was clear that the baby's head was not being supported properly, and a lot of people on social media were commenting how his head should be supported and she shouldn't be holding his head that way. And then as the baby was getting older, there were clips of him and he was sitting, and it was clear that he wasn't really all there, or at least very attentive for a child, and he kind of just looked like he was zoning out into outer space. There is an unfortunate and repeated history of Chrisean Rock being almost intentionally neglectful to the child's well-being while she's raising him, and even when people point out her inability to properly care for the child, she kind of brushes it off as something that's not as important as it should be. I remember there was another clip when Blueface just got out of jail and he met his son for the first time on stream, and when he was holding the baby, you could tell because he has, I think, at least 2 kids at this point in time, he has experience handling children, and when he was holding the baby, the difference in how he was holding the baby compared to Chrisean was night and day because he has experience with children, and it was clear that the child was not being taken care of properly by her as the mother. And to kind of put this on a broader scale, I think a lot of people don't really understand the necessary amount of attention that a child needs, because kids grow up eventually and they become adults, whether parents like it or not. A lot of the groundwork that people do as parents to their children will have long lasting effects into their adulthood and even throughout the entire lives if you mess up on any way dramatically throughout their development. Kids are living, breathing individuals. They're not meant to be considered playthings. It's not something that you just have haphazardly. Having a kid is something that should be thought of thoroughly before even doing so. You shouldn't just have a kid because you're bored. You shouldn't just have a kid because you want a little mini you. When you're having a kid, that should be with the sole intention of trying to raise it to be the best individual you want it to be, and not some little, trophy or little show chihuahua that you hold around in your purse just to show off and then put it in the corner and don't take care of it when you're done showing it affection. Kids need attention. I feel so bad for that kid because he was dealt one of the worst hands possible in life, because his mom did not care about him from the time he entered her stomach up until this point in time, and it's clear that she doesn't do the right things to make sure that he's being taken care of in the right way. It's also a shame on a lot of adults that are around Chrisean Rock, because a lot of the behaviors that she does while taking care of this kid, or even before she had the kid in her life, she did not take proper precautions in taking care of the child by stopping drinking, stopping smoking, stopping partying, and doing everything necessary to make sure that child was going to come out healthy, happy, and in a good environment. This is just a clear example that shows that just because you can't have a child doesn't mean you should. And it's kind of disgusting that someone would go out of their way to have a child, talk about openly aborting it as if the life doesn't exist. I mean, if you want to abort a child, that's your business, but the degree to which she didn't take care of the pregnancy is clear that she didn't have any intention of being a serious parent at all. What's even sadder is that we know Chrisean Rock has the resources to take care of this child properly. It's not like she's poor. It's not like she's living below average conditions. She has the money. So to say that she can't hire a nanny, a child psychologist, doctors that could monitor this child properly, and she has the means to do so, but she just actively does not, or people in her circle are actively not petitioning for her to do so, it's kind of scary, because this means that she can't be the only one out there like this. And I really do feel for people who are born in these conditions where their parents did not take careful consideration on how they were going to be raised, and kind of just go about the world without any consideration of how this child's going to grow up. If a licensed professional is telling you that there are things that need to be taken care of for your child, why is that something you're going to dismiss as if the professional has no idea what they're talking about, especially if you didn't even finish college yourself? But those are just my thoughts. What do you guys think? Write down in the comments below. What are your thoughts? Do you think penguinz0 was right for calling Chrisean Rock on her terrible parenting? Or do you think that he's overreacting and that she doesn't do anything wrong, and that child is developing at his own pace, like she said? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.